What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 2 of God's Podcast. In today's episode, we are actually going to throw in multiple topics. We're going to throw in the new Xbox console that was just leaked with the new controller. We're going to throw in kind of just the state of 2023 and kind of like what's been going on with Sony. And then I also kind of on the end want to throw kind of like a little bit of discussion of different things going on right now in the atmosphere and kind of like what's happening in gaming. But I think we're gonna start this off with 2023 as a whole. Um, so my favorite game of the year so far is Resident Evil 4 Remake. And I got my buddy Jason here with me, and I was curious what your favorite game of the year was, at least so far.
As much as I hated the original, Resident Evil 4, hands down.
Yeah, there's just something about these remakes that Capcom just knows what they're doing.
Banger after banger after banger, bro.
And just the fact that they're going to be including a full-fledged first-person remake PSVR 2 version for free, it just blows my mind what Capcom is doing right now that no other company is doing.
The turnaround they've had this last decade is nothing short of incredible.
And it's that RE engine, dude. You got Resident Evil remakes are perfect. Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, perfect. Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Rise, Street Fighter 6. Fucking I even heard a lot of people liked Wild Hearts. Wait, no, Wild Hearts was Wild Hearts. I'm gonna call out Wild Hearts because it copied Monster Hunter. But
yeah. Even DMC5.
Thank you. That's what it is. That's what it is. DMC5.
Wild Hearts.
I'm thinking, well, I said Monster Hunter Rise, and then I was like, Wild Hearts. And I was like, wait a minute, that copied Monster Hunter. There we go. We had to throw some comedy in there.
Capcom has just been on a continuous row, and the culmination that led to RE4, for me, absolutely hating the original, for the remake to be my favorite game this year, that's something.
And for me, that the original was one of my favorite games ever made. The fact that the remake makes me think that the original is outdated and kind of like not as good as I remember. It's crazy. Like that remake opened up my perspective to a lot of things. And it's just gonna keep getting better with the DLCs, with the VR. It's just
absolutely. I can't wait for Separate Ways. Whenever I do get a VR2, I'm gonna be itching to do that Krauser fight.
Dude, Capcom is holding VR2 up. Like it is literally holding it because there's so many great games, but there is no experience on PSVR 2 like Resident Evil Village, and from what I've seen in screenshots and the small snippets they've shown, this Resident Evil 4 VR. Like, it's incredible what they've been able to do, and the fact that we're getting that with more DLC, man, like, give me that DLC right fucking now. Like, I want to play it so fucking bad. Like, fuck it, I will give you another, like, $30. Like, let's go 3-4 more DLCs. I do not give a fuck. Let's go. But we've talked about it. And worst game of the year.
Redfall.
Yep, Redfall.
Absolutely.
One of the worst games ever made. You know, they want it to be a 10-year game.
One of the worst games ever made by one of the best developers. Think about that.
Yeah, it makes no sense. You know, you said before, they want it to be like a great game in 10 years. Like, no, game needs to be great now because the game's not going to last 10 years.
Yes, nobody's going to remember it on Game Pass in 2033.
For all we know, there's going to be no Game Pass in 10 years. We don't even know what's going to go on. Like no one.
Pete Hines, like, I admire the dude, but you're talking out your ass right there.
This game does not have the legacy that Dishonored has, and they need to stop acting like it would. The only game that they've released in a long time that's had any merit close to Dishonored is Deathloop. And that's only
you go from having a 10 out of 10 PlayStation exclusive to having a 2 out of 10 Xbox exclusive.
It makes no sense. Literally, Deathloop was one of the
Not at
best
all.
games of that year, and I don't get what they did that fucked up everything so bad. Um, and it's crazy to me because and this could just be the Sony pony in me, but if that game was coming to PlayStation, it would have been 60 FPS. That's just how I feel about it. I just feel
But
like
Sony would have pushed for it.
yeah, I just feel like Xbox is in this weird state right now where they're like 30, 30 is perfectly fine. No, it's not.
And
Spider-Man was
I feel for the people who are still waiting. When did it come out? Like May? Almost 5 months after launch, waiting for that 60 frame patch. That might not even come till sometime next year.
And the craziest part about it is that if you play it on PC with 60 FPS, the game is still dog shit.
Yep,
All it does is
as I've tried
it's just
recently.
smoothed out. It's just smoothed out the dog shit. You're taking this hard, crunchy dog shit and you're smoothing it out. That's all you're doing. It's just not a good experience. And like, I bring this up about Starfield and things like that with Xbox. Spider-Man, true next gen experience. You can have 4K 30, 4K 40, 4K 60. If you have VRR, you can
Ray
have
tracing
120
on
hertz.
all modes.
Yep, ray tracing is on all fucking modes.
Instant loading, unlike Starfield's 120 loading screens per hour.
Yeah, I'm over here playing Starfield for 5 hours, and 50% of my time is load screens, and it's insane. I'm
50%
watching
of your
this
time is in load screens, 40% of your time is in menus, and the other 10% is actually walking and shooting.
and trying to find out where an armor store is because there's no local map. Um, but it comes down to, and look, I love Sony. I'm a Sony guy. I'm not trying to shit on your game, Xbox, but you Xbots need to realize that there is a lot of bad in Starfield, and the game, yes, is one of the better Xbox exclusives in a long time. But you guys literally have a Game of the Year contender that no one fucking talks about over there, and that's Hi-Fi Rush. So I'm gonna shit on your Starfield all day because you guys
No.
keep skipping over Hi-Fi Rush
I
for
just
your loading
re-downloaded it
screen
too.
simulator. Oh, I've been playing it. I downloaded it like a few weeks ago, and it's amazing. I want
Yeah.
it on Switch. I just think it would just be such a great game over there. Um, but my point is that like Starfield is a loading screen simulator, and it's fucking sad. But I look at Spider-Man 2 gameplay and what Sony's shown, and you can literally click fast travel, and before you blink, you're fast traveled. You click to switch characters from Miles to Peter, or Peter to Miles, and it's just immediate. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I spent $500 so that I can instantly travel in a game, so that I can play 60 FPS, so that I can have ray tracing, so that I don't have load screens. If I want load screens, I'll go play my Switch. I have hella games over there I can do with load screens. I don't need that shit on a next gen console. I have a $2,000 PC running Starfield on a 7,000 speed SSD, and I'm still getting more load screens than my Switch. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
But for worst game, hands down Redfall though, and it's just sad to see.
You know what's crazy? And this is gonna sound like a dumb take. Redfall is worse than Gollum because of the hype of Redfall.
Redfall is worse than Gollum because it comes from such a prestigious studio that had Microsoft money, and they came out with that.
If people are in music, they'll understand this analogy. This is basically how I describe games as bad as Golem, as bad as Redfall. And this is how I look at it, okay? And why Redfall is worse. Golem is handing someone a laptop, a $50 mic, and Reaper free version, and saying, have fun. No tips, no tutorials. You're just making a song and you're hoping it sticks. Redfall is going to a $10,000 studio that has done every band under the sun. They are in there with 5 engineers. They are tracking live drums. They are tracking live bass, live guitar, live vocals. They are fucking fixing everything, lining everything up, making the most beautiful masterpiece ever, and it comes out sounding like shit. That is Redfall.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. But for the rest of 2023 in gaming, I want to talk about the period of gaming where it was okay for some reason to launch a new game in a bad state. We had Star Wars drop terribly. Hogwarts had ton of trophy issues. You had Wulong on PC being a mess.
Wulong in general.
Wulong is probably the worst game they've ever made.
Last of Us on PC, if you didn't do the shaders, which a
Oh.
lot of people didn't. Because I personally had no issue with The Last of Us, except loading screens on the Steam Deck, but that's a totally different thing.
Last of Us PC was bad. Like, it didn't matter what you did. That game did not run good on PC.
Neo 3, though. I mean, Wulong. Sorry, guys. Terrible.
So
They should
bad.
have done Neo 3.
I actually have the plat for Neo 1, the plat for Neo 2, the plat for Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy.
Same.
I like that company.
And I have the 100% for Strangers of Paradise on both the PS4 and PS5.
Oh yeah, you helped me with that. Yeah, same. And I like that company. I think, in my opinion, they make better Souls-like games than FromSoft does. In a way, they have great co-op. They have
They're more to the point.
yeah. They have more flushed out
They
combat.
don't hide things behind menus and passwords and all this other bullshit. Like FromSoft is in a class of their own, but their way of doing things is old.
It's very old school, and I look at the fact that like Neo 2 was 4K 120 on PS5, and that shit was butter. And it's just like, holy fuck, like this company's great. And then I'm looking at their upcoming game, was it Rise of the Ronin, and I'm like, this looks great. And then Wulong drops, and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, this company has like balls. Like they are just dropping games left and right. Let's check out Wulong.
Nope.
Dog shit. And I beat that game. I was going for plat, and I got to the ending, and I'm like, I'm never getting these like 30 hours back.
I almost didn't do it.
I'm like, this was the biggest waste of my life. Why did I do this? And it was on Game Pass, and I played it on PS5. I was like, what the fuck? I should have just played it on Game Pass. Like this is not great. The whole fucking you have to capture flags to rank up to be able to face enemies in the world. Like, I'm not playing Halo. I'm not playing Call of Duty. I'm playing a fucking Souls-like. Like, let me kill shit. I don't get it. And it's sad that there's so many games that released that were just boo-boo at launch and needed to be fixed. But Dead Island 2, here to shine.
Oh, dude. Like, I doubted the hell out of it because of Dan Buster. And that you ended up proving me wrong again. Back then with Guardians and now with Dead Island.
Yeah, because I see games for what they are, like everyone who is giving these other games 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, but they're launching like dog shit, and then Dead Island they're like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, because it's a zombie game. I'm like, are you guys fucking stupid? This game launched with no bugs, no issues, ran at 60 FPS.
Working online, working multiplayer.
Yeah, everything was great.
No microtransactions.
Like, who cares if it was a zombie game? Granted, they
Right.
did add micros later on, but
They did.
at launch, it was perfect. For a sequel
Absolutely.
that took a decade almost?
A
Like, you're
decade and 3
insane.
developers.
I beat that game in 3-player co-op from start to finish. And then
And
I
help
beat
me
that
with
game-
mine.
Yeah, I beat that game twice. And then I helped you, and then I helped another person. So technically, I beat that game like 4 fucking times. And that's in my top 3 games of the year. It
But
just
all
hasn't been
these
enough.
games launching like dog shit, like circling it back to Bethesda for a second. I blame, not fully blame, but Todd Howard is part of the problem. It's not how it launches; it's what it becomes. The moment
Bullshit.
he in that interview with Ryan McCaffrey, I'm like, bro, you're you're an asshole.
Yeah, that's the issue.
That's why since then I have dubbed him Todd 16 times the detail Howard.
It's like, to a point, I can't disagree because it has happened and history has shown that that is true in a way. But your mindset should not be that. Your mindset should be
That should
like,
not be the mindset at all.
your mindset should be, I want to release the most perfect game possible and
Mhm.
then make it better
Yep.
any way I can. You know, I always talk to my friends about this and everyone's like, stop harping on the past. And I'm like, dude, back in Xbox 360 days, it was because I was young, but I swear like 90% of the releases back then were flawless. At least
Because
when it
they were.
came to like, there was no issues, there was no problems. You got all the content, you had everything there. If you got a DLC, it felt like fucking Christmas because you were like, oh
Yep.
shit, there's more content? What? How can you add to this game?
Like we all were with old school COD map packs.
Oh, dude, that was part of my multiplayer video, and I'll just drag it in for 1 second. Map packs will forever be better than season updates. I'm sorry, it's just always going to be that way.
How it is. We got some of the best maps in those map packs. These season updates are either refreshes of old ass maps or nothing at all.
And when you would get 4 maps in a zombie map, nothing tops that. Peak.
Yep.
It's
Let me
just,
pay the $15 for 4 maps, a zombie map, and 1 or 2 weapons instead of this shit being free and total dog water.
yep. Like, you look at the battle passes, and half of it is literally like they hired the dumbest person they could and said, here's a paintbrush. Like, just have fun. Oh, you want 50 woodland camo guns? $10 for that battle pass. But you want the cool shit? $30 for a premium battle pass. But wait, there's more. You're only getting 1 map until the refresh. Oh wait, there's even more. That map in the refresh is just a new version of a big team map that you've been playing for an entire year.
Modern gaming in a nutshell, and it's not going to get any better. 2023 has been a hell of a roller coaster.
It's been weird because as much as I look at 2022 and I'm just like, you were dry, but you had some bangers. As much as I look at 2021 and I'm just like, you were dry, but you had bangers. And then I thought 2020 was actually a decent, okay year when it came to games. But I look at 2023 and I'm like, you're not dry, but what the fuck are you doing? Like, there's
Basically.
more games this year. There's more games this year than there has been since 2020.
This year
And-
is non-stop, and it's just so mid in general.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is like I look at it like, would I rather have 3 to 5 banger releases and that's it, or
Yep.
20 mid games? And it's weird because there are bangers this year. You know, I think,
Oh, you just finished Immortals.
yeah. Well, I could talk about that later. Immortals is good. I think it got criticized way too hard. I think it, in my opinion, I think it's an 80% even, just 80. I don't think it should be in the 70s. I think it's like a solid B minus. That's what I'll give it. For being their first game ever, I have to give them brownie points. I'm sad that that team is laying off half their people. I hope the best for them. But that game, in my opinion, was really good. I think it was harshly reviewed. But for me, when I look at 2023, it's crazy because I was so hyped for Zelda. And I do think Zelda's a great game for the Switch. But I actually don't like Tears of the Kingdom. I love Breath of the Wild, and I think because I love Breath of the Wild, I can't love Tears of the Kingdom. Sadly, um, for some reason that game to me just doesn't hit right. Like I put about 40 hours into it, and by the time I hit about 40 hours, I'm like, I for some reason am not enjoying this game. Like it's a fun game. It's beautiful. Like I'm really impressed with what
It was
is running
gorgeous.
on the Switch. But something about this game for me doesn't hit like Breath of the Wild did, and I don't know if it was because of the Switch hype back then. Um but something about that game was not for me. Whereas Pikmin 4 is in fucking incredible. And I can't believe how much I like that game. Like, if Resident Evil 4 remake wasn't so bad, like so fucking badass and like great, I would have Pikmin 4 as my game of the year right now. I can't believe how much I like it. And that's what's weird about this year for me, is that I'm looking at it like the only games I can truly sit back and think in my head that are like top 5 contenders for like my favorite games of the year are like Dead Space, which is a remake, Resident Evil 4 remake,
Remake.
fucking God, what else came out this year?
Mm.
Pikmin 4,
Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2, and then there was
And
one other
then
remaster or remake. Oh, Metroid Prime remaster. Those are my top 5.
which is crazy. 2 remakes and a remaster.
Yeah.
Better. The old shit is better than the new shit. That's simple as it is.
Like, what are your top 5 that you can think of?
Resident Evil 4, Dead Island 2. I'd go Final Fantasy 16.
Fair. I didn't get to play that game. I own it and I never played it.
For number 4, I'm only judging because of launch and not what the fuck's been going on lately. Diablo.
Okay. Diablo 4 was great.
And I would say Baldur's Gate for number 5.
So, I'll put this out there. I never played Baldur's Gate 3 and I never played Final Fantasy 16. So, I want to say that those 2 games are great games. Honestly, 9 out of 10 games. Without even playing them, I can tell that they're fantastic games. So, I will definitely just say in general, those are highlights of the year. Just for me personally, I never got around to playing them, and I will. I definitely will, because I really, really want to play them. And I already own Final Fantasy 16. I've just been too busy. But those are 2 of the only games I didn't play this year, which is crazy, because they're 2 of the games that I think are some of the best this year. Just from seeing
I was
them.
so impatient for Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5. I bought it on my Steam Deck to play it like 2 weeks before the PS5 launch. Thankfully, it has cross save, so I was able to bring my shit over to PS5 when it came out.
I did the dumb thing. I fed into the Starfield hype. So I didn't get Baldur's Gate for that reason. And it's sad because Baldur's Gate looks like such a better game. I will say I do enjoy Starfield. I put it in top 10 for the year for me. Like probably number 10.
I have to play a little more, but the hour that I played wasn't terrible.
Like I think it's fun.
But it's just
serviceable.
very 2015-y. That's it.
It feels very old schooly, yeah.
It's a great 2015 game.
Yeah. But like for me, man, like I don't like Hogwarts. I thought that game was not that fun for me.
Hogwarts was gorgeous, but my thing with it is there's something as there's too much to do.
Yeah.
I love side quests as much as the next person, but there is such thing as too much. And that's what Hogwarts was. You do one main mission, you get 10 side missions here, 3 over there. You do another main mission, another 10, and another like no. That game took me so long to beat in platinum because it was just so monotonous to a point.
I agree. I didn't even play too much of it. I felt like I got overwhelmed early on, and then I also felt like I was kind of bored because of the overwhelmed nature that game had. I was trying to do too many things that I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this main quest. Then, wait, I can go do all this. Okay, I'm gonna go do this. I kind of want to go back and focus on the main quest.
Yep.
Oh wait, I'm gonna go do all this.
Mhm.
Wait, I want to go focus on the main quest. And it started feeling like Assassin's Creed Valhalla in a way. Because in Valhalla, they feed you so much shit to do.
And the crazy part is, in Valhalla, it wasn't an issue for me.
I felt like in Valhalla, it was an issue with me at least trying to keep up with the story. But it wasn't an issue like Hogwarts. Hogwarts felt like,
Hogwarts was too in your face with it.
yeah, it was like mental bloating.
Assassin's Creed showed you all this shit that you can do, but it doesn't throw it at you.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And then to add on to that, I did not. You probably liked it. I did not like Star Wars Jedi Survivor one bit.
I love the combat. That one planet that you revisit all the time killed it for me.
My biggest gripes about that game, because the combat is great, the story is okay, but I like the characters. That would just be the whole. What are you saying? This? Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, I've been going anyway. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, no, the one simple thing that it was doing is the beautiful. You have to unlock skills to do this. You have to go and progress further in the story to explore this planet. I fucking cannot stand that in third-person action adventure games nowadays. Back in the day
I
when I
can't
was a
stand
kid,
it when you take a map and blow it as huge as you can, making it a chore traveling, firstly. And you add fast travel, which is a great thing. The first game didn't have that. But then you make the fast travel points so far and few between.
yeah,
Like, either do it all the way or don't do it at all.
I agree. And that's my problem is that I played the game, I got really far in it. And
I beat
got
it. I didn't bother with the platinum.
oh, see, I got a lot further than Hogwarts, but I didn't finish it. I just got to the point where third planet, fourth planet, fifth planet. I'm over here my brain is telling me, okay, I want to go explore. I love the atmosphere. I love the creatures. I love the areas. I want to go explore this area and learn more about it. I want to go find collectibles. I want to go do this, do that. But I have to complete 2-3 hours of that story portion first,
To go back.
then go back.
That's
And
why I just said screw it and blew through the rest of the story.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? My brain isn't working like that. My brain is go explore, go search for things, go have fun. I don't want to backtrack later. I want to do it all now. But no, that you can't. It's fucking stupid. And that's why I hate that fucking game, because I'm just I swear in the first one it was not this Like I know it was in the first one, but I swear the first one was not this bad.
Not at all.
Look,
And the first was also more linear, like open areas, but more directional.
it's just crazy to me. I look back on it and I'm like, the fact that one of my most hated games of the year is Star Wars makes me sad because I want to love that game. There is so much good there. It's just it happened that way, and it sucks. But um, I think to wrap up the 2023 segment, um, I think we've talked about the bad, we've talked about the good, we've talked about like things going on. Um, I want to say that one thing I hope the rest of the year does, because we still have Payday 3, which is kind of in shambles a little bit. Um, we have Assassin's Creed Mirage.
A whole lot in October.
Yeah,
A
Assassin's Creed
whole lot.
Mirage. We got Lies of P, which just dropped. Yeah, just dropped. Like
Phantom
50
Liberty Phantom Liberty next week.
Yep.
Liza P actually dropped this morning.
Oh, it was. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm curious to play that. But yeah, we got that out. We got Mortal Kombat 1. We got fucking the Cyberpunk DLC. We got Spider-Man 2. We got Mario Wonder, Mario RPG, Payday 3.
For whoever's on PC, Witchfire early access starts tomorrow.
There you go. That game looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
Got a ton of VR games coming out. Warfare 3. Praying to God it's good. At least the campaign. And
Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2, fucking digital only piece of shit. But yeah, Alan Wake 2. God, that makes me so mad. There's no physical.
The Metal Gear collection for those who are into that.
Hell yeah. Avatar is a big one for me. I actually don't know if you know this, but Avatar is probably my biggest game of the year over Spider-Man 2. I don't know why, but I loved Far Cry
Co-op
6
maybe.
so much. No, I just loved Far Cry 6 so much that I'm like, I want this Avatar game. I am the type of gamer that is like, "Durr, give me a gun. I want to go kill stuff. Like I'm drooling at the mouth. I just want to go shoot shit. Like that's how I am. Which is why my biggest game of next year, as of right now, is Star Wars Outlaws, because it's another case of like, I can go and just fucking kill shit and be a badass in a Star Wars universe. Like, yes. Thank you, Ubisoft. Thank you for feeding me what I want.
Right. My biggest game so far for next year, all AAA stuff aside, I mean, not even really AAA, but Prince of Persia.
Oh, 1000. Okay, so I'll just put it this way then. Top 3 biggest games of 2024 right now is fucking Star Wars Outlaw, Prince of Persia, and actually the Princess Peach game.
I still gotta watch the gameplay for that. I only seen the pictures.
It looks amazing. I will say that Paper Mario: A Thousand Year Door had me screaming, like standing out of my chair screaming when I saw that, and I will be buying that game. They could charge me $100. I will buy that remaster. I do not give a fuck.
I would be more excited for. I'm excited for Thousand Year Door. I would be more excited if it was a remake.
Yeah, like Mario RPG. I agree, but that's why I'm not. I agree, and that's why it's not on my top 3. I have to put Princess Peach in there, but Princess Peach is under Prince of Persia, and Prince of Persia is matched with Star Wars Outlaws, because Prince of Persia looks like, every time I see gameplay for that game, it is better and better and better. But what would be the top 3? Because you have Prince of Persia. What else?
Rebirth. Rebirth has to be number 1. Final Fantasy 7.
I can agree.
Prince of Persia, I'd say number 2. Number 3, if I gotta squeeze in third one, because I don't really. I'd say Helldivers.
Okay, I agree.
Like I absolutely loved Helldivers 1, but the fact that they have the balls to go from a top-down view to a third-person shooter is going to be interesting as hell, and I can't wait to jump in.
I mean,
And just from the
I
screenshots, I'll throw honorable mention to Peach as a number 4. Just off of screenshots.
I will say I have never played Helldivers, but that game has intrigued me immensely. I am actually very impressed with what I've seen so far, and it's an indie company, right? So,
I believe so. Just they were recently acquired by Sony, I believe.
yeah.
So
So
they're
yeah,
counting it as first party, I guess.
hell yeah. Um, so I want to move on to something that keeps growing right now. Now that we're out of our segment of 2023, also I want to say, please, for the love of God, give Crew 3 a chance if you are interested in racing games. Crew 3 is amazing.
Absolutely.
It is so good. Please give it a chance. Okay, so our next segment is going to be on the Xbox because as of right now, 1:59 a.m. on the 19th of beautiful September, they decided to leak every fucking thing Microsoft has in the shotgun.
Thank you, FTC.
Yeah, and melt the barrel. Because here we are, and oh, guess what else just leaked? The next gen console. The actual refresh console for 2025. I'm about to read that in a minute.
2025.
That's what it's looking like. It's looking like 2025, 2026.
Talking about the one we just saw?
No, this is a new one.
What?
It's a next generational hybrid game platform capable of leveraging the combined power of the client and the cloud to deliver a deeper, immersive, and entirely new class of gaming experience. It's like taking the power of the Series X and then doubling it with the cloud.
Oh, the next generation. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
2028. Damn.
Is it 2028?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw people saying 2025. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me read into it. Let me
Yeah,
read into
Wario.
it.
Put
2028.
it up.
Okay. That makes
So we're
sense.
so we're getting the refresh next year with that 2 terabyte for 500, which is a steal considering how poorly priced
Yeah,
these
yeah.
damn
Hold on.
expansion
Let me
cards are.
let me explain it for everyone. So the Series X refresh is in October of next year, which is what Pirate Jason was just talking about. It's gonna be a digital only console with a 2 terabyte hard drive. The coolest part is the controller because the controller is gonna have haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, rechargeable battery, a completely new design, and gyro, which fucking blows my mind. Um,
I want
that
that
is,
controller.
I want that controller so bad. Like it just looks so good, and that makes me feel like Elite 3 is just around the corner. But what I'm curious about with this console, so it's gonna be 500, meaning it's the exact same price as the Series X. I'm wondering if the Series X is gonna drop to $400.
Either 400, they just phase it out. No, they won't phase it out because it's disc.
Yeah, it's the only disc console. So I think it's either gonna drop to 44.99. Wait, no, 400. Yeah, 449.99, or $400 even.
Yeah,
Like I
pay the extra 100 for the extra terabyte. I can see it,
yeah,
and
depending.
the newer controller.
Yeah, I can see them cutting it by $100. And
And I mean faster Wi-Fi as well.
yeah, it also goes from Wi-Fi 5 to Wi-Fi 6, which is crazy to me. You know, it has reduced PSU power by 15%, new low power standby mode. You know, there's just, you know, fucking
And we're just talking about leaked console and controller. We haven't even talked about the new leaked games.
yeah. Like a USB on the front, like C on the front, so that makes me think there's gonna be another C in the back with an A, which would be kind of nice. And the 2 terabytes, it's all 500. It has the new controller. It just looks like a better design overall, with the controller having such a sleek remake.
It's gonna look weird next to my Verizon router because they look like
Yeah,
one's gonna be
but
white,
like
one's gonna be black.
it's called Xbox Wireless 2. No, well, Xbox Wireless 2 is what it can do. Okay, whatever that's gonna fucking mean. I'm gonna assume that's just like connecting it. I'm like, what, Xbox Wireless 2? What the fuck? Why would you call a setting Xbox Wireless 2? Okay then. Direct to cloud, Bluetooth 5.2. You can be able to pair with devices. Has haptic feedback, adaptive triggers. Haptics double as speakers. So what is it gonna have a speaker on the fucking controller now? Something like that. Quieter buttons and thumbsticks.
The part about the battery that's beautiful is that it's gonna be swappable.
Yeah, rechargeable and swappable battery.
Like, I love the Elite 2. I love that it's a rechargeable battery. I wish it was swappable though.
Also, the faceplate comes off because it says repair and assembly. I'm gonna assume that you can probably take the faceplate off, and that's why it's like half white, half black.
Gotta make a Starfield plate.
New module thumbsticks. Yep, new module thumbsticks makes me think that it's gonna be like removable thumbsticks.
And the lift to wake is just a weird addition for Xbox, but welcome.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, but then if you look, wait a minute, you look at the timeline of stuff. They're announcing the console in July. And it says there's an Elwood 1 terabyte launch for $300 in September. And then a Brooklyn 2 terabyte launch.
Brooklyn is the one we were just talking about. I wonder
So
what
that
Elwood
means
is.
that means that it's a new Series S.
Well, we just got the 1
Yeah, but
terabyte Series S. Unless it's a
imagine
Series S with the new controller.
that would make sense, a Series S with a new controller, but imagine they announce a Series S with a disk drive. And they do 300, because down in the bottom it says that
Is Elwood its own moment earlier in the holiday time frame?
Yeah.
My sales. This is going to be very interesting when we get around to it.
it's gonna be crazy to see how they do.
But look at that May slot. Sebile launch.
Oh,
$69.99.
So it's called Xbox Universal Controller? But there's 2 different versions.
Wait. Oh, that's Sebile is the control. This controller apparently comes out in May.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Controller's gonna come out in May.
And then the system itself, October. Interesting.
What I think is interesting is that it says there's a Pro version of
Elite 3?
If you look at the Xbox Universal Controller and XDL, under in-box accessories, it says like Bonnie and then Bonnie Pro. I'm confused what that is.
Interesting. Unless that's the Elite 3.
Yeah, but also look underneath. Hold on. So are they going to be announcing, what does XDL mean? Because there's 2 different formats for it. Because I'm like looking, And technically speaking, the Series X normal and the Series X in XDL have the same specs, but the difference is the code name.
That's a good question.
And they're both all digital. Which means the Series S is staying all digital because this is all digital. And also, that's weird because the Series S is still a USB-C to A, whereas the new Series X is USB-C to C. So the Series S, the new one, would have Wi-Fi 6 in it, whereas the old one has Wi-Fi 5. And then it would also have the new controller, but it's still going to have 3 A USBs. It's not going to have a Type-C on it.
I mean, you get what you pay for with a 300.
Yeah.
But FTC
Yeah.
came out of left field with all this.
I mean, it says on the bottom the refresh. So the Series S is a light refresh. The other two are new. And then there's large on the controllers. But I'm wondering what XDL is.
Yeah, as far as Microsoft terms, I'm not sure. Like, I know XDL is like file extensions for computer terminology, but that makes the chart weird.
And the craziest part is if you look at this new next-gen console, so we're talking about a cloud hybrid console that's going to be cloud to edge architect, cross silicon graphics OS. So what? So would this essentially just mean that, say 2028 rolls around, Microsoft is going to purposely release a weaker console to cut cost so they can kind of like get into the generation on a W, and then the cloud is going to be what pushes the games to next gen? That's kind of weird. Because, like, next gen DirectX ray tracing. Yeah, because see? It seems like it's going to be a program. Unless I'm reading that wrong. It says $99 for consumer or handheld devices.
Yeah, I just saw that.
So like,
lacking thin OS.
I'm trying to imagine this, like, and leave a comment down below on what you think and kind of like how you feel about all this Xbox stuff and like what you think is gonna happen. But what I'm reading right now is making it sound like they're gonna probably charge you, say, a 4K 60, 4K 120, like what the Xbox Series X should be. Like, it's gonna be like this next gen console. Like, it's just gonna be just another, like, instead of 12 teraflops or some shit like that, it's gonna be like 16. I'm just throwing a number out there. I'm probably wrong. It's just gonna be a baseline console, and then you're gonna have to pay for a subscription to cloud. And when you pay for the subscription, that's gonna give you enhanced refresh rates, enhanced ray tracing, enhanced visuals. I could be reading it wrong, but the $99 is making it sound like you need to purchase something to activate the cloud. And if
The
not,
crazy
that's
part
cool.
is we won't even know for a few years because it was just all leaked.
I mean, this is supposed to be like 5 years away.
Yeah.
So
FTC really just pulled through.
oh, FTC was just like, Sony, look, we know y'all been struggling on games. We don't know where your first party companies are. You got Insomniac holding your bitch ass up high. You got Square Enix holding you up high. You got no other company. Everyone else, Naughty Dog ain't making anything but remasters. What's Sucker Punch doing? No one knows. What is Guerrilla Games doing? Another Horizon VR probably. Who knows? Where's your
Don't say
first
that.
party companies at? Oh, you don't have any? Okay, then we're gonna leak everything for Xbox so you can give us another good game. That's what they're doing. Which I don't even think we talked about that in our single player. We don't have to. But Sony, please, for the love of God, announce like 50 first party games in 2024 before I die. Like, please. I need another year like 2019 and like 2018, 2019, 2020 at PS4. I need that right now. Thank you. Well, that's crazy, man, because what I want to transition into after talking about that, which we talked about, I will probably buy that Xbox that comes out next year. I think 500, 2 terabytes, brand new controller that's probably going to be $80. I think it's a steal. I
The
think I
chart
will
says
probably.
70.
What'd you say?
The chart says 70 for the controller.
Oh, that's not bad. No, I think I'm gonna probably purchase that.
Like upgrading from whoever has an S, do yourself a favor and upgrade.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. No, that's my point. Is
Or
I
if you
got-
don't, or if you're looking to get an Xbox, if this is your first Xbox, just wait till October next year.
Yeah, no.
If you're on a
100%.
PC, either stick to your PC, or if you want to, well, dip your toes into the console, get that one.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna be doing, and that's why I want to finish off this video because we're already at like 50 something minutes. I want to finish this off with now that we know what Xbox is doing, how about that Switch 2, baby? I have a feeling this is about to open up some floodgates. I can see something from Nintendo sparking because Phil Spency is talking about it right now. Talking about how he would love to own Nintendo and all this
Well,
bullshit.
firstly, I'm gonna need a Switch 2 version of Mortal Kombat 1.
I mean, that's one of the worst looking Switch games I've ever seen, and I've beaten fucking the Outer Worlds on Switch.
Switch 2.
Like, how do you ruin Mortal Kombat that bad for Switch owners? And you
I
charge
mean,
$70?
11 looked bad, but not that bad.
No, Mortal Kombat 1 looks worse than 11,
The,
and
the,
it's $70.
But like what I don't understand is Mortal Kombat 11 was on last and current gen. Why would you take a current gen game try to throw it on Switch?
Because it's $70 and they know people will buy it.
The Switch version needed to be 40 or 50
Switch version needed to be free to play.
or that. Hey, at least it wasn't Cloud. A lot of people thought it was gonna be Cloud.
Like, honestly,
If it was
Cloud
Cloud, I would pass the visuals. If it was Cloud,
Cloud would have been better. I feel like the game would have looked good, and boo-hoo input lag and this and that. You would have been able to at least enjoy the campaign with good visuals. I think Cloud on Switch it has some good things. I remember Control, if you played in resolution mode, like yeah, you were playing like 30 FPS, but it didn't look bad, like visually. I don't think Mortal Kombat 1 would have looked bad in Cloud. It's just fighting games suck in Cloud.
ooh, speaking of Cloud, the Kingdom Hearts collection is on sale.
Oof. I need Kingdom Hearts 4, please. But Switch 2, man, I am a strong believer that if it's not announced at the Game Awards and coming out in spring, that next fall is when it will drop. Nintendo's looking at everything from a marketing scheme. March is when their physical year ends. So unless that console drops
Unless they
immediately,
pull unless they pull what they did with the Switch and announce that shit in January, release in March.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless they do a last minute thing, because I don't see them dropping that in summer. Like I
Not at
don't
all.
see them dropping that in like May, June, July. No. They, if after what today came out, the Xbox dropping in October, I guarantee you Nintendo is gonna fight hand and fist to take over that and release everything side by side on purpose. Because the way I'm looking at things is after that direct, and I saw some people talking about it, that direct truly showed everyone that when these games are being shown twice now, like a lot of them were shown already, and then they were just like, hey, here's like updates or here's more trailers of games coming out next year. Like shit, dude. For Sony, what games do we know coming out in 2024? Helldivers 2, and that's like it. Like that's first party.
Yeah,
Nintendo's over here.
Wolverine's a maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But Nintendo's over here like, nah, dude. We got so
Yep.
many fucking games. What you want? You want
Dropping
this?
it like it's hot.
You want that? You want? Oh, dude, look, we're gonna drop like 50 first-party games on you. Oh wait, you want a trailer for Prince of Persia? We're just gonna make your mouth water. Hold on, wait, we got more for you. Like Nintendo is just insane, and that's why I think a lot of people are like big on this whole Switch isn't gonna do backwards compatibility because they didn't do it with the Wii U and they're gonna charge you again for all these games. Bullshit. There's no way with how successful the Switch is and how many games there are that they're not going to do some type of backwards compatibility on that
Yep.
console. And what I think they're gonna do is I think that they're gonna make Switch 2 versions and do the big old $10 upgrade. And that's where
I
they're
can
gonna
see
get their
that.
money back.
I could see that.
But what I think the Switch is going to run at and what it's going to do is self-explanatory. I think it's going to be 4K 60 in docked mode, and it's not going to be every game. I feel like games are going to be 4K 30, maybe worse. And
Of
they're
course,
going
I
to use
mean PS5 and Series X are supposed to be doing 120. We're barely getting 30.
yeah. And I think that's docked. And I'm thinking they're going to be using DLSS to push the frame rate, which I feel like at this moment in time PS5 and Series X need to somehow adapt DLSS in some way to help with these games. But I do feel like the Switch is going to run like either 1440p upscaled to 4K or something with 60. And even if you have to use DLSS to help, I do think Switch, like I do think Nintendo is looking, I do think Nintendo is watching, and I do think Nintendo is going to purposely take a drastic step, because if they have that backwards compatibility and they take that drastic step, they can essentially drag 130 million users for free in a way. Like it's just you're gonna drag people. Oh hey, you can play your favorite, see, like people who live by Animal Crossing and are still playing it. Hey, you can bring that Animal Crossing over to the Switch too, play with our brand new like Joy-Con Pros, play on 4K 60, and we have Wi-Fi 6 in our machine. Like, oh, and guess what? We're 350 at launch. Like, you're gonna blow
Ooh,
people
same
away.
price as the OLED. Oh my god. Don't do that to me.
That's what I think Nintendo's gonna do. Is everyone keeps talking about in the leaks that it's an LCD screen, not an OLED screen. It's an LCD screen, not an OLED screen. I think Sony is gonna. I mean, not Sony. I think. God, I'm getting tired. It's fucking 2 something a.m. I think Nintendo is going to copy the exact same thing they just did. I think they're gonna announce a base model for 350 with, I said, the dock specs. I think the handheld specs are going to be 1080p 60 or 1440p 30, but DLSS can double both of those. That's what I think they're gonna do.
It's funny you're mentioning DLSS. IGN put up a article yesterday explaining what it is.
Yeah, but I feel like I would love for them to do 1440p 60 in handheld, but I feel like they're gonna opt in for 1080p 60. And then you use
As
your
long
like
as you give me
the bit.
60, I am fine.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think that the base model is gonna be 350. And I do think they're gonna do the same thing where they have one color and then they have neon colors. This time
That's
around,
it.
I feel like this time around they're gonna for the pro, like this will essentially be like the pro switch. But even though it's a next gen, I see them going like a silver or like a gunmetal for the
Mm.
normal one. And then I think they're gonna opt in for instead of doing red and blue, I think they're gonna do more of like a more of like a offset of red and blue. So like instead of being neon, I think they're gonna try and go for more of like a premium color scheme for that. More of like
Mark
a
red, cobalt blue, maybe.
yeah, yeah, more like a
I,
punch.
I, I dig it.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna try and
I
emphasize
like because I
more.
love the neon colors when it came out, but a more defined look would be nice.
And I think they're gonna finally increase the storage to 5.
£1 TB
Nope, I think they're gonna do 512 GB SSD. That's what I think they're gonna do.
SSD.
I think they're gonna do the same type of SSD that's in the Steam Deck, and it's either gonna be 256 or it's gonna be 512.
I could see 256 starting out, or maybe 256 for the base, 512 for the pro,
Yeah, like
and then still keep it expandable though, please.
well, here's my thing is I think they're gonna do the base model for the first year at 350, maybe 400. I'm assuming 350 on purpose, um, with the two different colors, and then the next year in its life, they're gonna do a light, which is going to be 250. And then I still think that I'm just getting this weird feeling that they're gonna go with power colors. Like they want the colors to be like a punch in the gut, like eye-catching colors, not these soft colors like they did this time around. Um, and then I think the third year, maybe the fourth year, is when they're gonna announce the behemoth. Like 450 for like an OLED, better battery life, better this, better that. That's when I think they're gonna do the big push. But I feel like, especially after what we just saw tonight, I feel like Nintendo's sitting there right now, literally right now, because there's people probably in Japan that are, it could be like 10 a.m. or some shit over there. Like, I feel like there's people in some portion of Nintendo that is sitting in a chair right now, just like, we literally have checkmate. We now know that one of our competitors has a console dropping in October of next year. We now know it's $500. We now know the controller is $70. We can literally take our next gen console, make it like $350, $400, drop it like a month, like say they drop it in like September or like the beginning of October, make their controller $70, and you're getting two of them, say like the new Joy-Cons.
Yep.
And it's GG's. And all I have to do is announce like Metroid Prime 4, a 3D Donkey Kong, and a 3D Mario within the first year, and 100 million sold. That's just, I've been wanting to talk about Nintendo, and it's just how I see it. I just feel like they're at the point now where they literally can announce a console, announce 3 to 5 exclusives in the first year, and it's game over.
Yep.
They've sold, and
Hotcakes.
everyone's gonna buy it. Yep.
They've been cruising, and it's basically cruise control for them right now.
The fact that they announced the same Mario Kart bundle again.
Every Black Friday,
That has been
and now
going
again.
on, and it's still gonna sell another 5 million units. Who
Mhm.
does not have Mario Kart? I do not understand who does not own Mario Kart.
It's the
It is,
#1 Switch game for a reason.
isn't it the #1 sold game in history? Like, am I
Yeah.
crazy?
Not in history, but for Switch, definitely.
I
Number
mean,
one still Minecraft, I think.
that's insane because I swear to God, they somehow like hire a million like trainees to have birth just so they can grow up to be old enough to play a Mario Kart. Because it's just insane. They just keep selling it. It's the best sold games of all time. You know what's crazy? They're still dropping DLC. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, the last DLC is this winter.
I don't fucking get it, dude. I haven't played that game in 3 years.
Mario Kart 8 is number 6, best sold of all time.
Hmm.
Minecraft, GTA 5, Tetris,
Yeah, I was gonna say Tetris.
Wii Sports, and PUBG, and then Mario Kart.
How? You know what's crazy to me? I mean, I get how, but just think about it. Mario Kart is on. I'm assuming that's only Switch sales. I'm assuming
No,
that's not.
we for the best selling game of all time is counting both
Hmm. I mean,
at 64 mil.
it can't be that much for Wii U.
No, of course not. Switch is like 50 mil or something like that.
Well, that's why I'm saying I'm like, just imagine that only one platform,
Mm-hmm.
and they did that. I mean, Wii Sports isn't fair because Wii Sports is with every Wii ever sold,
Yeah.
but that's insane, dude. I don't know. I think what I'll end this on, because I think we're going on like
It's over an hour
really,
now.
yeah, we're on a really, really long video. I think I'll end this on a question if anyone wants to answer it in the comments. I want to know 3 things. One, what do you think the next Sony first party game will be? Like, what do you think they'll announce next? For me, I think they're going to finally announce either Twisted Metal as a free-to-play game, or they're gonna announce that Horizon remake, that was like leaked a long time ago. My second question is going to be, do you think Xbox releasing a 2 terabyte digital only Series X with a brand new next gen controller is a smart move? Or do you think they should have done a mid gen refresh instead? Like an actual more powerful console? In my opinion, I think this new controller and console is actually smart, and I probably will be picking one up, but I'm curious what people think. And my third and final question is, if you had one Nintendo game that could either be a sequel, a random IP that you love that you want brought back, a remaster, a remake, whatever, that would release day one with the Switch 2, what would it be? Um,
Sunshine 2 or Odyssey 2.
I can agree with that, but for me, um, I honestly would like to see, instead of a new Odyssey, I would like to see a third Mario Galaxy. I would love to see what they could
Mm,
do with Mario Galaxy and like the whole concept of the planets, and I would like to basically take Mario Odyssey 2 and make it Mario Galaxy 3. Like combine them. Um that's
just
what
give
I
me a
want.
Delfino world.
Yeah, I want a Delfino planet. That's what I want. Um but yeah. So this was a really, really long episode for our second episode. I want to thank Jason for coming on here. He'll be on plenty more episodes. Really
Hell
great
yeah,
guy.
brother.
I'll make sure to put his YouTube down in the description so you guys can check that out. But want to say goodnight. It's 2:30 something a.m. for me, so I'm going to go get some sleep. But thank you for watching. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share this with your friends if you check it out. And episode 3 will be out next week. See ya.
See ya.